Hi, this is Allison Richard, your stress management and self-care coach. And today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite self-care practices, which is to do various reflections or check-ins. They could be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, year. Really just this idea of checking in with myself to figure out if I'm staying aligned with my goals, my desires, and just making sure that I'm moving in the direction that I want to go. And so, of course, the end of the year is always an amazing time to do some of these check-ins and to just that time where we naturally really want to reflect and make sure that we're really feeling complete with one thing before we move on to the next. So complete the end of 2023 as we move into 2024. So that we're setting our goals and maybe leaving anything behind that we're ready to release or let go of, or we don't want to take with us, as well as using that reflection as information to help us know what next, where do we want to go. So I just want to give you 3 really simple but really powerful questions that you can journal on and ask yourself so that you can really do this check-in with yourself. And you could take as little or as much time as you want with it. If I like to choose, especially when I'm doing something like a year where it's sometimes hard to really think back, especially to that, beginning of the year. So I like to kind of look back at various things. So you could look at your calendar and maybe kind of remind yourself what was going on at that time. If you keep, to-do list or a type of planner, you can look at that. I am a big picture person, so you can always look at the pictures on your phone. So whatever will just kind of help to jog your memory as you go through this and to really ask and get a full picture of what your year was, because our brain has a negativity bias. So oftentimes when we're sitting here thinking about or reflecting on that, if we're not asking ourselves really good questions and really deep questions, our brain is going to remember automatically the things that were a little bit more negative or hard or complicated, because it wants to remember those so that we can avoid them again. So you might end up finding that you have a little bit of an incomplete picture if you don't do these intentional questions and asks. And so we want to give you this complete picture so that you really know and can honor what went great, maybe acknowledge what didn't go so well, and just have this really full, well-rounded picture to help you know where you want to go next. So first question that you can ask yourself is simply, what went well this year? And again, it could be in different areas of your life. It could be things that just pop up automatically. And I like to think of it kind of sub questions or ideas just to kind of get your brain moving is, what was remarkable about the past year? And specifically, how did you react to that? So as things went well and maybe there were really remarkable things, what were your emotions? What were your reactions? Maybe what were some of your best accomplishments? So what are you really proud of? And in what ways did you grow in? And, or similarly, you can think of what were your favorite times or moments. So those can all kind of jog that same idea of what went well in your year. And the second one is also to ask yourself what didn't go well. So maybe what were your biggest disappointments? And how did those disappointments affect you? Maybe there were some things that were unexpected or some challenges that came up. And again, just kind of noticing how you reacted to them, how you responded to them. And then we want to use both of those. So I encourage you to take a little bit of time with each of those, because again, we want to really focus on what went well and our accomplishments, the growth, who we are as this version of ourselves that we were not at the beginning of the year, and all the things that we have learned, done, that have made us who we are on this particular day. And then you also want to acknowledge what didn't go well, because that also makes us who we are. And once you've done that, using all of that to know, how do you want 2024 to be different? So how do you want the coming year to be different? So maybe using some of those things that didn't go well, or the disappointments especially, to ask yourself then, what do you want as a result of that? Because every time something in our life happens that maybe is the opposite of what we want, or a little bit in contrast to what we want, that automatically makes us create a more clarified desire for what we do want. So using all of those things about what went well, so maybe what do you want to keep doing more of or build on, and the things that didn't go well that allowed you to clarify what you want even more clearly. And ask yourself, create this list or just this idea or this picture of how you want 2024 to be different. And I am just sending you so many warm wishes for a healthy, happy holiday and a very, very bright new year full of lots of hope and light. And I would love to hear how your reflections go, so please feel free to share in the comments. And happy new year.